What are you nibbling?
Sunflower seeds.
Oh, I love sunflower
Yours
seeds. I'm good right now. Yeah. I don't want to start.
I eat the whole thing, dude.
Oh, dude.
I like chew the whole.
You chew that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I just chew the pulp.
Yeah. I sometimes do too if it's like salty and...
It's just so good. Okay. Should we do a Cristobal?
We could start off in it and see how long
Yeah.
we can do it for.
Let's see who's the real meditator.
Okay.
I've been practicing since you said this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been doing it regularly.
Nice.
Every time I meditate, I sit like this for a while. It does get painful, but it's getting much more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The sun's gonna be... Nah, I think it's gonna be okay.
Is it on?
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, this is the podcast. Cool.
Yes, this is the podcast. Welcome, bro,
Thank
to
you.
Joy of Life Yoga presents meditation in daily life.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is the thing I'm pushing these days, I guess. Joy of Life Yoga.
Cool.
It's kind of an initiative, I guess, about yoga and kind of like creating maybe a new perception of what yoga is, what it can be for people.
Cool.
And the meditation in daily life is, yeah, definitely an integral part of that, to open up the conversation, I guess, about meditation practitioners in general, how they practice, how they came to the practice, and what benefits they've seen in their life, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so thank you for joining me, bro. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, today I have a good friend of mine, Jeff. I forgot your last name.
Jeff Peghiny.
Peghiny.
Yeah.
Jeff Peghiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, bro. I like it if you just would share maybe a little bit about your background and how you came into meditation practice. Yeah, I'd like to hear about that.
Okay.
So I'm very curious about that.
Yeah. So I was about 17 or 18 and at the university learning all about new different subjects, and somehow I came across like yogic superpowers of like astral projection and all this type of stuff, and I was, whoa, this is a thing? Like how can I get astral projection superpowers? And it's like, oh, through meditation. So I came to it through that angle, but I didn't find any superpowers, but I felt more connected to myself. And
So that was the spark. Was
Yeah.
this like I can get something?
yeah, I can,
Like an ability.
I can like be a master of something and fly out to other dimensions.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
So that's what sparked your initial
yeah,
interest.
then I found out more about Buddhism, more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years after that, I sort of had a Buddhist practice more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like a regular meditation practice during the daytime, like in the morning, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I had a Sangha, which is a spiritual community of like-minded meditators in Connecticut, where we would meet and like discuss Thich Nhat Hanh and share with each other about what was arising after the meditation.
Mm.
And it was super nice.
Yeah. Okay, so you came into meditation with like this wanting to get superpowers.
Yeah.
So did it happen? Did anything happen?
Nah, not really.
No.
No, I don't
But
think
you were
so.
meditating quite regularly.
Yeah. I would say some things with my perception of dreams became more enhanced
Mm-hmm.
through meditating and like seeking astral projection, and I would have great recall and maybe more lucid dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a common thing that happens with meditators, especially at the beginning, is your awareness starts to be much sharper, and it's like more habitual that you're aware of everything that you're doing in every moment. So I also noticed this, that my I started having dreams
Mm-hmm.
for one thing. Started having and recalling my dreams, and then becoming lucid because I was fully aware that when I was dreaming, I knew, oh, this is my mind. This is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like I was being fooled anymore by my mind.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this is quite a common thing that happens, at least at the beginning. So yeah, so you came. That's quite interesting. You came into it with like
Comic book.
comic book
Yeah.
edge. You know, like a lot of people come into it because they're out of desperation. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people because they want to have more peace with their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to hear from this perspective. Like, I wanted to get something.
Yeah, psychic
an
powers.
ability. Yeah. So were you meditating quite a lot at that time?
At that time, but I wouldn't say it was like sort of a mindfulness practice. It was more go deep into the sensations in my brain and like activate whatever, and it was ego based, kind of like mind. So I was doing it completely wrong.
Okay. And you're following your own made up technique?
Yeah, and some things on the internet. I was just trying everything.
Yeah.
for these-
Like I want psychic
I
powers.
was- yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
had put salt on a table, and I'm like, I'm moving the salt. I'm totally moving it. And I'm like, wait, did I actually move the salt? No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I came at it from the other side,
Yeah.
out of desperation.
Oh.
So, yeah, I was suffering big time with anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and with depression. I think they're like two sides of the same coin. They're very
Mhm.
closely related. So I was like not sleeping for extended periods of time,
Wow.
and I could not fucking sleep. It was really frustrating because my mind was so active. It was so, my whole system was in a state of like fight or flight constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't know how to switch it off. It was like I was on high alert all the time. So when I wanted to sleep, I just like my system was just not ready
Wow.
for it at all. So yeah, it was out of like a very like a desperate situation that I needed to relax myself and find some kind of balance in my life. And it was just one of many things that I was trying at
Mhm.
the time. Like, I remember a lot of the other things I was doing was exercise. So I'd
Mhm.
go like extreme into exercise. So I
Mm.
thought that it would exhaust me to the point that I could fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I'd go for runs like up a mountain and like to the point where I really injured my ankles because I was going like so hard
Mm-hmm.
because I thought that this would save me, that by the end of the day I'd be so exhausted that I
Mhm.
would just have no other option but to fall asleep. And I remember it not working, and it was kind of scary because I was like, holy shit, what can I possibly do to just switch off my mind so I can sleep? So yeah, that wasn't working. I ended up taking some medications,
Ooh.
citalopram, it's
Mhm.
like an SSRI, and that helped a lot actually. It like helped me to calm down. But around the same time, I got into mindfulness,
Mhm.
like into a regular practice. And at the time, I remember it helping, but it didn't solve everything, you know? But it definitely did like turn the volume down just
Mhm.
a little bit and gave me some clarity in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Nice, man.
that's where I came into it from, like more, I need fucking help, you know, because I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting a lot of help from, like medications and stuff were always scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw it as a last resort. I was like willing to do everything
Yeah.
else possibly health-wise, like eat perfect, do exercise, lower stress, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things was meditation. Yeah.
When I was into the superpowers, I too was dealing with depression, but also dealing with that with binge drinking on the other hand, and sort of suppressing it big time. So the mindfulness was a distraction for the real pain inside of me.
At the time, it was a distraction.
Yeah, but I didn't see it. I just saw it as this quest, but I wasn't addressing the real pain in me.
That's very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, usually people associate mindfulness with going in and addressing these things,
Mhm.
but you saw it as a distraction at the time.
At the time, I did not see it as a distraction. I saw it as like the quest. Like,
Oh,
this
okay.
is real. But now looking back, I see it as I was distracting myself by distracting with binge drinking on the weekends, but during the week, distracting with looking outside for superpowers or whatever.
I see. Okay.
It
So
was that poor meditation at the time.
it was poor meditation.
Yeah.
In what way?
I wasn't doing it correctly, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is part of the journey, is like understanding the technique
Yeah.
itself.
I've heard a lot from many meditators that they didn't know how to meditate for 5 years after they thought they did.
Yes. Yes. It's a long journey, and it's so strange because it seems so simple. Like a lot of these exercises give you one task: focus on the breath. You know, but even that, after a certain point, you start doubting yourself. Like, is this all I'm meant to be doing? And you're like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Yeah. So I think meditation in general seems to be quite a long journey. But I'm curious about your story. So you got into meditation around the same time. You weren't doing so well, but you were thinking more of like you want to get something from, get some kind of ability.
Yeah.
Can you tell us
Or
more
enlightenment. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if I get enlightened by like meditating super hard, everything else would be easy. It's like, okay, I got to get enlightened. But I had this very young, goal-oriented
Yeah.
thing with meditation. So it's just coming from a strange angle.
Yeah.
And so for a few years, I was binge drinking and meditating and doing like a small yoga practice, just getting into it. And after a while, I had grand mal seizures.
What is grand?
A grand mal is like the worst kind of seizure you can have, where you faint and your body has huge convulsions. And during that time, I dislocated my shoulder. Yeah.
This is happening regularly, that you're having seizures.
It didn't happen at all. I was a normal person, and then one day I was driving with my dad, and I was turning around the car, and I fainted on my dad. Had one of these massive seizures, and I woke up in a ambulance.
Okay. And this happened many times after that first episode?
It happened a few times afterwards, and then I was on medication. And that was the only option people gave me at that time, was stay on the medication because you'll destroy your shoulder. And it was very heavy for me, like, wow, I could not use this arm if I have another seizure.
Yes. Because it's somehow connected to your shoulder?
For some reason, when I was having these convulsions, the left side would explode. Like, this would be the main point where the tension would arise. And the left side, I guess, is the feminine. So I needed to address my feminine side.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So at that time, you weren't doing any kind of meditation practice? It was more just
I was doing meditation, but also destructive behaviors.
Okay.
Like, I'm advancing towards enlightenment, whatever, mind illusion, and also suppressing aspects of myself through drinking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was quite unbalanced in that sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I paid for it.
Yeah. But it's interesting, you had a very sincere, desire to develop yourself on the one hand. But maybe your lifestyle, wherever you grew up, wasn't, very supporting of that. It was, I would assume that your friends were kind of getting you into the binge drinking and stuff like this.
We all did it together.
Yeah.
Like in the party context of, this is what people do. This is normal. Like, you're in high school, you're in college, you binge drink on the weekends and you feel like crap, and you smoke cigarettes and destroy ourselves.
Yeah, I can relate. I came from a very similar background. Very similar. So you were on medication for quite a while?
Yeah, so I was on this medication for... The first medication I was on for about a year, and I was having big problems with it. I felt like my personality changed. I was depressed. I was also taking pain pills because of the shoulder. And I felt I was completely changing. I was tired all the time. And because I was tired all the time, I was also drinking coffee to like stay awake, because I would be in class and like pass out on the table, which isn't good either.
Yeah.
And so the doctors didn't really give me an option for getting off. They're like, maybe you could in a number of years. And they told me this maybe thing. And I went to Costa Rica to teach English. And I met a woman who was coincidentally on the same medication that I was on, second medication. And she told me she got off it. And when she isn't stressed or worried and people aren't pressuring her, she doesn't have seizures. And I felt this was like a sign from the universe, like, hey, this lady was on the same medication. She had seizures. She got off it. I can too. And then I learned all about like kind of like the fruitarian lifestyle and cleansing sort of thing. And I felt that I could do it, and I got off for about 9 months. I weaned myself off the medication slowly to make sure I didn't have anything. And it was a difficult process this first time, because I had so much emotion suppressed from the medication, because I couldn't get so high and so low. It was stable, like a lower vibration, like just hanging on. And yeah, so floods of emotion would come, like everything felt way better, but like when I felt sad, it was way worse, until I came into more balance. And during this time of like the detox or whatever, it was pretty intense, and I felt very weak, and no one was really guiding me about what was going on. Like, I'm detoxing all this emotion, I'm eating super clean, so things are coming out of me, I'm gonna be weak. People didn't tell me, I didn't know this. So I went home and I was like, something's wrong with me. I went back to the United States and I started eating like more clogging food, I guess, and like living back at home, but I wasn't taking the medication. And I was taking cannabis oil at the time, because I heard it had good effects. And I had a seizure, another big grand mal seizure while I was asleep. And my shoulder popped out again. I like dislocated it again, like years after. I got an MRI, EEG, the whole thing. And the doctor was like crying to me, like, Jeff, you got to get back on your medication. Like, there's nothing we could do. And I was like, wow. After experiencing this freedom to get back on, it was just crushing for me. But I also got a new job in Costa Rica. So I got this news, I got to get back on this medication and the new job. I was like, okay, the universe is like beating me down, but it's also like keeping me going. So I got on the medication for a few years, and it was until last year, about a year ago, a little more, that I had enough inspiration by multiple friends of like, Jeff, you can get off this medication, like, do all this meditation you've done and like all this work you've done and healthy living, like, you can get off. And I just had so many people like reassure me that I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I can't lower my consciousness anymore. A part of me was super scared that I'm gonna have another seizure, I'm gonna destroy my shoulder. But I just had so much encouragement, and it felt like the universe was saying, like, yes, do this. And I weaned off the medication over a few months while juicing a lot and eating like healthier like fruits and like a mucus-free diet. So things that don't clog your body so much, like meat and dairy for that time. And doing more yoga, like pranayama practices, because I would feel like really intense and I need to bring my energy down. So like Anuloma Viloma, and had great support. And it came up a few times that the intense fear that I was going to have a seizure during sleep paralysis. You know, have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, I've had sleep paralysis
Ooh,
before. It's really scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So sleep paralysis is kind of, for me, I'll be about either leaving a dream or entering a dream, and all of a sudden, oh man, I can't move my body. Oh no. And some kind of scene will play. It'll be like a dream overlapping the sensation of not being able to move, or just creepy energies either coming out of me or coming outside. It feels like it's very creepy and otherworldly. But during this time, I would have all my fears being played out, like, oh, I just had a seizure, like I'm like gonna die, all these like just crazy stuff. And then I wake up and be like, oh man, it wasn't real. I didn't have a seizure. But all the fears, they come out eventually.
So how do you feel in general these days? Do you feel like, I don't know, are you off medication and stuff?
I'm completely off the medication, and I feel it's the best I've ever felt in my life, by far. Just experiencing this this contraction of my consciousness, being weighed down on a daily basis. Like, I'm carrying this. I guess we all carry things, but I felt like I'm really carrying this thing. And to get off it, and to get off coffee, which I was completely addicted to in combination, so freeing.
Yeah.
It's just like a mini nirvana, or like a mini enlightenment, just to be like, I don't need to.
Yeah, man, I can relate a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, coming off the medication for myself was also, it felt like a triumph. Because I was in citalopram for a long time for the depression, and coming off it and feeling like stable in general, also I felt like, wow, it's a relief. It's something I'm not really hiding, because at the time I was hiding it. I didn't want to tell people because I don't want to get into a whole discussion on a daily basis like, I'm suffering with fucking depression. It's like, it's pretty gnarly. So coming off of it and being clean from it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being on medications, but somehow when you are taking it, you feel like you're broken, like and it's a heavy thing to carry around. Yeah, it's just shit. It seems like in your case, and both of our cases, that it took quite a long period of detoxing in a way. Eating super clean. Doing things like pranayama, the yoga, of course the meditation.
I was taking herbal tinctures for a while for my kidneys to get them filtering, so my body could like process whatever was inside of me better, and for my adrenal glands, which are responsible for like regulating your energy, I'm pretty sure. And because of years of the medication, I had drug deposits like in my body. And once I started getting off the medication and doing more juice cleansing, I had these wounds all over my legs open up and just have like mucus just come out. And what I believe was the drug deposits, that it was my body, instead of filtering through my bloodstream and getting me high on this medication again, it was protecting me by having these wounds come out. And every day for about 3 months, I would just sleep like multiple times a day, just like, get it out.
So it wasn't wounds that were caused by like mosquitoes or something, it like naturally...
It was my body eliminating, just coming out of nowhere.
That's weird, bro.
Yeah. I have it documented.
Like mucus fucking
mucus, like medication, like white nastiness.
Yeah.
And the only thing that stopped it...
Yeah, you went.
That was a long one. Yeah. The only thing that stopped it, I had this like super long shamanic fever, and then it stopped.
Yeah. So what caused the fever? You actually got sick?
The detox process. It's I guess you can have like detoxing fevers according to some. Yeah. I'm not an expert in any of the detox realms, but I've experienced.
Well, this is part of the problem that I see, is that no one is really an expert because there's not much legit research on this stuff. But there's real experiences like yours, you know, that you have a real story of coming from seizures really not being good in general, to
Mhm.
detoxing and, like you said, feeling good in general. So these things happen, but legit understanding, unfortunately, I think it's just not there,
Mm-hmm.
because there just hasn't been like much research on this, as far as I can tell.
Mm.
Or
Or a lot of it's suppressed,
yeah, who knows, man?
so people stay on the
Yeah.
medication. And
Yeah.
stay in the system.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, because the journey coming out of it is actually really fucking difficult. Like
It's
going
so
through the
beautiful,
detoxing, it is, yeah, when you come out of it. But it's a really long journey, and I think it's maybe not for everyone. That, you know, people that want their
Yeah.
comfort in their same context that they grow up in, these high stress environments, say in
Mhm.
the city, it takes a lot to come out of that. So what other option do a lot of people have but to just stay on the medication, suppress? I mean, I don't see much wrong with that either. You know, people can choose what they want to do. But I think it's very worthwhile sharing these experiences for
Mhm.
people that do want something more.
Yeah.
Because in my case, I absolutely wanted something more, and I was willing to do anything for it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know exactly at the time what's the direction. How do I like really upgrade my life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we both have much more clarity on this now, on this
Yeah.
journey. Yeah, I'd like to talk with you about psychedelics.
Psychedelics, cool.
So yeah, you're into the psychedelic thing.
Yeah, I got into it more around the same time with superpowers. There was like psychedelics, meditation, all these things. Mostly because I've heard all these crazy stories of like being in different dimensions and like meeting beings and weird stuff. And I was like, what is this? This is a trip report of like someone having a DMT experience, meeting like machine elves, and they're like constructing the universe. And I was just like, what is this? I think I read that I was super young too, like and younger. And it's like, okay, this is the new frontier. The whole planet's discovered, but like, what's beyond?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, ever since then, it's kind of been a blessing, a gift in some ways, and a curse, the psychedelics, because I have definitely abused them in the past and harmed myself and even really scared my family a few times. But also I've had so many opening experiences where I blasted through some depression I had, and it was, whoa, these are the steps to change my life. Like, I need to walk away from this, and wow, I could see so clearly. It didn't cure it. This was an ayahuasca experience.
Mm-hmm.
I had my first real feeling it, and I could see the depression, and was going into the ceremony, I wanted to not be alive. I was just like, everything's so difficult. I don't know how to deal with this. It's just like, I don't want to be alive. And then I threw up into this bucket. I was the first one throwing up, like, get this out of me. Get this ayahuasca out. And then afterwards I was, I'm so lucky to be alive. Like, I'm so blessed. What was I thinking? Like, I can do so many things, man. Yeah. And what a ride.
Yeah. So did this feeling or this like realization stick for quite a long time after it, or was it just very much in the moment?
No, it stuck for a while. This feeling was so profound of like expansion and love, and how blessed I was to carry on for months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that feeling actually stuck with you.
Oh yeah, and I can tune back into that. So whenever I'm down, like, I hate my life for this thing, it's like, oh yeah, remember when I was so blessed to be alive, and I'm still so blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true, man, because we are lucky to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
The only part that sucks is when we're really struggling with our minds, I would say. Because it is a blessing, and you fully you fully believe this when you are doing good. You know, when your mind is clear and your body is good, it's like you fully feel gratitude for, like, it's great to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
but so much of my life has been like in a torment, you know, with my mind and my body. Then I'm like, fuck, bro, this is shit. This is super shit. So yeah, just bring it back to the whole meditation.
Yeah.
The meditation thing is that we are working with our minds, you know, and I see psychedelics as a very integral part of this journey, because again, it's working with your mind.
If needed.
If needed.
Some people, it's not for everyone. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it can be, for
You gotta be very comfortable with yourself, or be prepared for things to come up that you need to be comfortable with eventually.
Yeah, because it shows you maybe difficult shit, right?
If you go deep enough, all of the shadows come out.
Yeah.
And you gotta learn to integrate it, and it's the best thing when you do.
Yeah.
Because the shadow, I feel that the shadow is just the suppressed light. That if we're not shining, we're not expressing our needs or whatever, it becomes shadow, and then it just lashes out. This is me.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, bro. Because I think this is not spoken about that much. Psychedelics being used in like a very, say, intelligent way, specifically to come out of suffering in the life. Oftentimes it is used recreationally and stuff, which is fine, whatever. But I think people that are really suffering, like I said, that want to come out of it, this is a legitimate option for them to use psychedelics in a healing modality.
Yes.
Also paired with a regular meditation routine, because it's so like one and the same thing. So
I would also add, with someone confident to talk to.
Oh, really?
That without having some support, it can be difficult on your own. I've been there doing it on my own.
Yes.
But it's really good to have these friends and mentors.
For sure, man. Yeah, if you have this luxury, I mean, fantastic.
True.
Yeah. Are you into the microdosing thing at all? Are you into this?
I was for a while. I found it very useful, but also I was microdosing on the days where my shit was coming up.
Okay.
I'd be like, 3 days I'm all good, then I'm like, something bad happens or I'm not feeling good, I microdose. I'm like, I'll make it all better. So because I too struggle with using these substances correctly, and I'm still finding my balance. And
very difficult, eh?
Yeah,
very difficult.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Of like power and awesomeness. And like, just use it wisely, man.
Yeah, because the benefits are right there.
Oh, it's great microdosing.
Yeah, it is, eh? I've had a lot of benefit. Like I said, my sleep was terrible.
Oh.
And yeah, my meditation practice, my yoga practice, and the microdosing together has just been a fucking lifesaver. I sleep great in general.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, I don't take medication, bro. I do my meditation before I sleep, and I sleep great. Even on the days where it's been like so much mind stuff and I'm like all over the place, you know? Just somehow I can relax to the point where I'm not even trying to sleep. I think that was part of the problem, to be honest. I was trying to sleep before, which gets you in this really bad loop. But
you felt like you had to?
Exactly, because I was so fucking exhausted. I had to, you know, and I wasn't. And it's like this bad like habit. So yeah, I would say the microdosing, I saw a huge difference in me. I could just relax somehow. I just remembered, oh, this is how you relax. It's so easy. So yeah, it's been a lifesaver, honestly. It's been a fucking lifesaver.
What are you microdosing?
So I was microdosing mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for quite a while. Like 2 days on, 2 days off.
Nice.
Yeah, for extended periods of time. And I did LSD for a little bit, but I didn't have that much. But I noticed it was very helpful. I just saw the beauty in so much more things. I mean, it's very subtle. It's a microdose, but I just noticed, oh my god, that's the kind of beauty I remember from a kid. I would see it in people's eyes and be like, oh, that's what it looks like, you know? It's so nice to be reminded of this stuff, because the beauty is all around us, but it's so difficult to see it when you're when your mind is so busy, eh? Like, that's part of the problem. So, Yeah, anything else that you want to share with the psychedelic thing? I mean, there's so much you
man.
could talk about with that. It's like, it's a whole world in itself.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I've tried almost. Sorry, Mom. I've tried almost every every psychedelic, minus a few,
Yeah.
and like some of. Could I talk about my favorite ones?
Everything, bro. Yeah.
Okay,
Anything
yeah.
you want to talk about? Yeah.
So the one I tried within the past year that I found quite profound that many people don't know about so much is Vilca or Yopo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a seeds from this tree in South America. I can't remember the name. And you can grind it up
Mm-hmm.
and you administer it through a rapé pipe. And it's 5-MeO DMT, which is this kind in bufo. And up one nostril, up the other. And man, it was like
Wow.
the craziest release of my life. It just so much happening, just geometry, the beauty, and then my friend was playing this beautiful music, and I could touch this deep well of sadness in me that I had no idea existed. I was like, whoa. And I was just crying one of the heaviest tears, and I didn't even know why. It was just I had access to like this primordial sadness, like within humanity, within like they say like in samsara there's enough tears to fill up the ocean, like yeah. And I tried that one time, and I can't be a bigger advocate for that huge release and big change.
Yopo.
Yopo or Vilca. There's
Vilca.
different types.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you get this stuff?
You got to go to South America and look for Yopo seeds,
Yeah.
or find a guy who's been to South America
Yeah.
and has them.
I wonder.
You can watch
Very
on YouTube.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching stuff on YouTube about 5-MeO DMT.
Yeah.
They get it from frogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched this thing. It was a Vice documentary, and they were doing
Hamilton?
it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but they were doing it in Mexico,
Yeah.
and seeing these people's experiences. Yeah, they were giving it to people that were addicted to like meth and stuff, bro. And yeah, he would go to like the dodgiest part, like the most dodgy neighborhoods, and he was there just to help these people get off their addiction. And it was simple as taking them to the beach,
Yeah.
administering the 5-MeO DMT. They would have like a crazy psychedelic experience, but for extended periods of time after that, just that event, they were clean. I mean, they were fucking like off their drugs and stuff. Like, what's happening, or why don't people know about this?
I feel that the DMT is special in this way. It gives you access to like the sacred space that's always around us, that we're like, that this life is very, to me it feels very sacred. And then with the clarity of DMT, it's like, wow, this is so sacred. Like maybe these people, they're taking their life for granted, and it's just showing them like boom in this huge way.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the Yopo and other forms of DMT. It's full power. It's full power, and you got to be ready for the full power. Or I recommend people, because I was in this mind state of like, you take 3 hits and you got to go out of body. But I feel it's best to really ease into using DMT, get to know the sacred space before you jump off interplanetary, and just ease into it, no pressure, just enjoy. Because if you can go into DMT with enjoyment and like release, it's way better than having pent up. I'm trying to blast off. Okay, I'm blasting off, and like
Yeah. It's not helpful.
No.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. I haven't taken DMT, but
It's
I know what you
exciting.
mean, because I noticed this with the meditation thing actually.
Yeah.
Because whenever there's expectations or like a specific desire in the mind, it's like you're going in the opposite direction, almost in every case. It's so strange that it's like your mind's like a naughty child. You know, it's like you tell it, let's do this, and it's like, no, I want to do that. Yeah. So, You can see I'm like trying to bring it back to meditation every
Let's
time.
bring it back. Well, it's
the
deeply
theme of my
connected, man.
podcast.
The psychedelics, it just goes into if you're prepared through meditation and you learn to master your mind, when you take psychedelics, it isn't scary because you know your mind, and you just go to enjoy and like feel these blissful chemicals going through your system and go, oh wow, this feels great. And you can meditating with the psychedelics. It's very important to have a practice with it, or you just get or people use it recreationally and get wrecked.
Yes.
Wrecked creation.
Yes. Thank you for looping it back to meditation, because I actually did want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Having a meditation practice, a stable meditation practice, plus using psychedelics intelligently is a recipe for not only coming out of suffering, but really thriving in your life.
Yes.
I've seen this with a lot of people that I speak to regularly, some mentors, and they do it very intelligently. They do psychedelics very intelligently to upgrade their life, not to just get rid of suffering. It's like they're happy, they're doing good, but okay, they're ready. Let's go to the next step. Let's open up my heart more. Let's open up my mind more. Let's follow my passion with less fear. So I really, really believe that having a stable meditation practice where your mind is super clear, you have control over it, you can focus for extended periods of time, you have access to joy quite easily. I think it's a game changer, man. Yeah, I really believe this. What else do you want to talk about?
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. I'm just these days I'm just making it up as I go along with the whole like podcast thing.
Okay.
I can't even remember why I started, but
you started it there and you ended up back in Padmasana.
Yeah. You know, what really got me serious about my meditation practice was when I started coming out of the mindset of that it's just magic and it's just a thing that spiritual people do.
Yeah.
When my mindset changed to see it as like a very pragmatic practice, like I'm going to the gym to get a specific result. When I came at it with this very like rational, pragmatic approach, I found it so easy to meditate, and I found that I had so much motivation to meditate in a proper way, get curious about it. I wonder if this is maybe not necessary for everyone to have this very like pragmatic understanding of what meditation is, but in my case it was extremely helpful to understand what is it that I get out of meditating properly, and how to meditate properly. I would like to ask you, what do you think is it that you get out of meditating regularly? What can you expect?
You can expect more ease with life. Once you get into a regular practice where you, let's say, there's a buildup of tension throughout the day, if you learn to meditate and you do this process of, okay, you're releasing your shoulders, going down, scanning down, relaxing, go with the breath. You follow a formula, and the formula works to relax you and be at ease with who you are. And it's just amazing when you get into the routine. If you get into a routine.
Yeah, it's very difficult, eh?
Yeah, it's okay. But the most important thing is to do some practice, and with the goal of getting into the routine.
Yeah, and I also don't think it's necessary for everyone.
Yeah.
But if you are looking to like upgrade your life, here's an option.
It's nice, but to do it properly, it's good to have guidance. If someone can have guidance, it makes it so much easier. Someone who's just a little bit further ahead on the path to reflect, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, is there anything else going on in your life in general that you want to promote or like share with people? I think I'd really love that you share it. You know,
Yeah.
people know about it. So if anything in general comes up for you that you'd like to share,
Yeah,
go for it.
I here on the island I do water therapy, which is this floating, and it's very psychedelic in itself, where it's the same goal of expanding and letting go. So people relax. I put floaters on, and they relax into the water and do movements to release energy. And it's I don't think it's well known throughout the world. Some people know it as Watsu, but here on this island, because the waves are very calm, many people do it here. And yeah, I'm an advocate for that.
Cool. So if people want to do a session with you,
If they're on
How would it-
Kopangan, they can they can come to me. But
they could find you on Facebook.
yeah, they can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. I do a bunch of other cool stuff. I do tons of art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've seen your art, bro. I love your art.
thanks, man.
Yes.
I'll give you some more copies.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so check out his Facebook and his Instagram. Your Facebook is
Well, my Instagram is World Controller Jeff.
World Controller Jeff.
Yes,
Okay.
it's from Brave New World.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
the World
know.
Controllers are these. They have this society that like runs itself, and everyone thinks these World Controllers are amazing people, but
Yeah.
they're still run by the machine.
Yeah.
They're not controlling anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just pretend they're world.
Yeah, your art's sick, dude. I
Yeah?
dig your art. I
Thanks,
do like
man.
it. Yeah.
It's pretty psychedelic. A lot.
Yeah. World Controller Jeff
World
on
Controller
Instagram.
Jeff. Yeah.
And Facebook is Jeff.
Just my name, Jeff
Okay.
Peghiny.
Yes.
Good luck finding it. You're not
Yeah.
gonna find it.
No,
World Controller
I'll
Jeff.
put it in the description.
Okay,
bro.
cool.
People can find your stuff
Thanks,
and
man.
do water therapy.
And if anyone needs advice with psychedelics or integration, that really is
Yes.
my specialty.
Yes.
And any support I can give.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very helpful for people. So yeah. Sweet. Okay.
Listen.
Yes, thank you, bro.
Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Really, really appreciate
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
it. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Yes, goodbye. Ciao. Nice one. Nice one.
Wow.
Touched on a lot of subjects, man.